Welcome back to the Catalyst Clock. Quick note, not financial advice, we're not licensed advisors, this is educational analysis only. When you hear the name Nokia, you probably think of an indestructible brick phone, or maybe the 2021 meme stock craze.
Right, old news, basically. Except Nvidia just personally invested $1 billion into this company, and the stock swung more than 7% in a single day, twice, in the last 2 weeks alone.
So something's actually changed here, let's figure out what. Nokia spent the last several years quietly rebuilding around 3 businesses: network infrastructure, optical networking, and enterprise technology. None of that sounds exciting on paper.
But the latest quarter tells a different story. Net sales grew 9% year-over-year, and order intake came in at 2.8 billion euros. Management actually raised full-year profit guidance from a range of 2.0 to 2.5 billion euros up to 2.1 to 2.6 billion.
And the strongest part of the business is what most people would have called boring 2 years ago: optical and IP networking, guided to grow 18 to 20% this year. That's the part actually carrying the company right now.
Here's the headline that actually matters, though. Back in May, Nvidia invested $1 billion into Nokia at $6.01 a share, becoming a 2.9% shareholder in the process.
They're building something called AI RAN together, basically, radio network hardware designed from the ground up to run AI workloads instead of being retrofitted for it later. T-Mobile's already signed on to run field trials.
And it's not just Nvidia. Nokia's putting AI tools into Google Cloud's marketplace, bringing its network automation software to AWS, and just signed a new 5G deal with Taiwan Mobile. This is a company trying to sit at the intersection of 5G, 6G, and AI all at once.
Now, before this sounds like a clean win, there's a real asterisk. Headline net profit for the quarter actually came in lower, not higher, despite the sales growth, mostly from restructuring costs and how they reclassified certain business units.
So the underlying business is genuinely improving, but the number that hits headlines can look worse than what's actually happening underneath it. That's worth knowing before you react to any single article's headline.
There's also a longer-term risk worth naming. Nokia's CEO has warned that memory chip shortages could persist all the way through 2027, which could squeeze margins on the hardware side no matter how well the AI story plays out, and 6G timelines, historically, have a habit of slipping.
On the chart, this has been a genuinely rough month before this recent bounce. The stock fell from the mid-14s in mid-June down into the low 10s by mid-July, a real, sustained slide, not a single bad day.
But the last 2 weeks flipped that, up nearly 9% on one day after strong contract news, and another 7+% day just this week on the AI RAN platform launch. Analysts, on average, have a 12-month price target well above where the stock trades today. That's a real gap between where Wall Street thinks this goes and where it's actually priced right now.
So, real AI partnership, real Nvidia money, real guidance raise, but also real accounting noise and real supply chain risk sitting underneath it.
I'd call this a 7 out of 10. This isn't a meme stock anymore. There's an actual, funded, named partner AI thesis here, which is rare for a company this size to pull off credibly, but the gap between the stock price and analyst targets is wide enough that you have to ask whether the market's still catching up to the story, or whether it's already seen something in the fine print that gives it pause.
Watch the next quarter closely. That's when we'll see whether the AI RAN order book actually starts showing up in real revenue, not just headlines.
A company founded in 1865, making paper and rubber boots long before it ever made a phone, is now betting its future on AI radio networks with Nvidia as a shareholder. If that pivot works, it might be one of the strangest and most successful corporate reinventions in tech history.
We'll be watching it closely. Subscribe for the next update.